to be talking music, but not just music. We're going to be learning a little bit more about a gentleman who has really made a mark with his, I call it skills and talent, let me tell you. When you hear those good rhythms out there and you groove into it and you're having a good time, a lot of us don't think about asking, who did that? Who produced that? But funny enough, I wanted to know about one particular rhythm, and when I found out who did the rhythm, I had to get this gentleman on the show because I found out he did it. And he's truly talented. He's actually one of our own Grenadian sons, and it's good to have him here with us this morning. I'm speaking about none other than Sean, Mr. Roots Mitchell. Morning, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good.
That's good. That's
You
good.
recovered?
Yeah, I actually could go a little more.
You could go a little more? Yeah, man.
I could take a few more days, man.
You used to Trini Mass, right?
Yeah.
And that's no joke. So we know this here is just child's play. So
Yeah,
I believe you when you say you could go a little more.
I came in charged up for it. You know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
What are your thoughts on Spice Mass?
It's great, you know, but as you said earlier, you'll see room for improvement, but you know, it's doing good. But for me, you can't really go on me too much because the last carnival I spent it was like 13 years ago.
Wow.
You know, we came in, did shows and went out, but I never really got to spend a carnival since. So this is my first time in a long while, but I had a great time.
Fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. I know you had a great time. I saw you playing a wicked jab, man.
Yeah, you mean.
Very good. Sean, let's start from the beginning because I know you have quite an interesting story to share with us this morning in terms of your journey, not just as a musician, but also a producer. First off, tell us, I know you were born in Grenada.
Yeah.
And you grew up abroad, and then by some stroke of fate, you ended up in Trinidad, and now you're part of the HD family and all of that.
I left Grenada, but I never left my roots. That's why I always hang on to the name, because when I got in the business, I was 10 years old. I was, you know, as a junior calypsonian, you know, competing against Inspector and Randy Isaac and stuff like that. Yeah, so then when I migrated, I mean, the name stuck with me. I've always had a deep connection to my music and to my culture, so, you know, I never left it. You know, it stayed with me wherever I go. So my journey was already preordained. So this is just things just happening the way they're supposed to happen right now, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. Tell me about your, let me rephrase that question. I probably heard about you before, but hearing about you created more impact in 2010. Correct me if I'm wrong with this one. When Otis had his tornado hit song. That is when
you got it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. Tell me, how did you get into producing music?
It's kind of like a natural step for me, you know, because I went from singing to playing music, and then with playing music, getting into studios and bands, I always wanted to be a part of creating it. So being a producer was just like a natural step for me. I just wanted to be able to do it. I don't just want to play it. I want to create it, how it's done. And so I got into that and everything, got into engineering and becoming, you know, studio engineer, recording engineer and all that. So it's just stages in my life. So, you know, there's not this one moment where I say, I'm going to get into it. Music has been in me from since.
And that was your ultimate goal, is you're working towards achieving these goals.
Exactly.
You know, and that's always excellent. And that song, let me tell you, that was a hit song. The moment I heard that song, I'm like, Otis, you win this year with that song. It's a really excellent song. What was his reaction when he heard the music?
They're usually blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was my second year working with him. I did it with him the year before, and he made it to the finals.
Right.
And then that year when, you know, he got Corinne Dubois, who is one of the most brilliant writers right now in the business, got him to do the song for him and sent me the demo. I was like, yeah, I'm going to kill this. You know, sometimes I get a little cocky with it, but, you know, that's how I know I'm going to put out what needs to be put out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if once I hear it and it hit me, I was like, yeah, we're going to kill this. And then when I did it, and then he heard it, he was like, Father. And strange enough, right after we did all of that and he won, when he came up to New York, that's when we found out that we were family.
Oh my goodness. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about the rhythms that you worked on for this year. But now, since you've cued me about family, I'm going to go on to family because you have quite a rich connection in Grenada. And let's start at the top with my good friend, and brethren and everything else, Mr. Edson Mitchell. What is Edson Mitchell the Ajamo to you?
He's my uncle, mentor, teacher, and pretty much my biggest supporter in this music.
Yeah.
You know, he gave me the name Small Roots when I got into the
Yes.
business. Yeah, he wrote my songs, he gave it to me. He always, so he's always guided me throughout my career and everything like that. And he's like, I don't know, I could never repay him for it because everything I do now reflects on the teachings that I learned from him, bringing me in studio at a little age. Young boy, he got me in the studio when he's working and things, so I was picking up on things. So, you know, I owe him a lot. You know, I could never repay him for that. But
I really like this photo right here on the screen right now. That's Tara Kid with you.
Yeah, that's also one of my artists also.
Yes.
Very talented young man.
Yeah.
You know, so I love the guys that I work with, you know.
Excellent.
Him, Otis, and Pupa Lindy, who is one of my very close friends, like my brother, you know. We work closely together and things. Even to work with Randy, Isaac, a lot of them.
You worked with a lot of them.
A lot of them, I mean.
Right, so let's move on to these rhythms that you released for this year. I know we just saw Tara Kid in a photo with you. You worked with him on the Bad Like Yaz track.
I've been working with him for the last 6-7 years. Yeah, you know, so we've been doing it when he won competition, everything. It's been, he's one of the guys that I always have my eyes on, you know. And I picked up with him, Otis, even Blacker Dan.
Yes.
I worked with Blacker Dan when he just came in. I was telling him that the other day. I was like, boy, you remember when I met you? You were like, you know, you were just timid in every corner. He could have barely talked, you know, and now he's just out there. So, you know, I like to see when artists develop.
Yeah.
And Terra was the same thing. You know, there was a little shy, you know, sometimes not really shy, but you're not really in tune with your true self yet musically. And once you find that true voice within you and you know, well, this is who I am, it's a great thing. And I was able to be there and see it take form, you know, so it's a great
It's a great feeling. I'm sure it's a really great feeling for you. It's like, you know, looking at all your...
Yeah, they're my sons, man.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
like all your
sons.
children, boy, they just blossoming into these,
I just love to see them.
Oh,
Win or lose, I love them.
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
Them bad, you know.
The rhythm that really intrigued me for this year was the vintage rhythm. When I heard the vintage rhythm, it reminded me of, you know, like back in the day when they had Carnival and the type of music that played. I don't know if it was like a Creole kind of touch to it.
Yeah, yeah.
What inspired you to come up with this
It's
rhythm?
something I've always wanted to do. Because like I said, I find at sometimes we lose touch with our culture. You know, and I was like, no, I shouldn't be out there and seeing this happening. We should be more aware of where we come from, and we always got to keep a deep, you know, connection with our foundation. So the whole vintage thing came from a sample from some old folk music that I got from my good friend here, Dillian Walters. He gave me a whole stack of them, and I was just going through them in Trinidad over the carnival season. Imagine that, you know, and just sitting around, I played the sampler, then I cut it, and I was like, okay, put a little beat on it. And I forgot everything about it after that.
Really?
I sent it to Lindy, because he's like the first guy I would send to.
Right.
And then I sent it to Wayne Green, who's home base, my good partner out here. And I just forgot. By the time I left Trinidad, so much going on, I started working on Grenada stuff, so I just forgot that I had it.
Yeah.
Until Lindy started asking me, yo, what about this old time thing that I had? Yeah, I'm like, what you talking about? So I went back in my computer and I saw it, and then it just like, you know, everybody just picked it up. I sent it to Jamo. He said, nah, bro, you're mad. Go on. He came by the studio and he heard it. Yeah, you were like, so it was just, but the rhythm was designed to do exactly what it did, to tell stories. You know, I didn't just want the artist to just write any song. I wanted everybody to tell something. And Torpy did it brilliantly with the Jab Jab Nation. Ajamo did it with the Jambi. Pupalindi did with the little slackness. Four Brass did it with the bacchanal horn. And, you know, so everybody contributed something, you know, to it. So it was really great to see it take form, and then we released it like evening. And then the next morning I got a call from same Dillian. He was like, dog, I went to sleep hearing it. I get up this morning to go to work, I hearing it, and it just took off. I didn't even expect it, but it's great.
I've been goosebumps. You just talked about this rhythm, and I'm getting goosebumps because it really created an impact, and it was fresh, it was new. It wasn't new,
but
it was like the rebirth of this sound.
I mean, we got to keep in touch with our culture.
Absolutely.
You know? And I think what happened, a lot of people couldn't really identify with it, which is good. So that means you know what's going on. So when I tell them this is actually your stuff, if you go back and look for the old folk music and stuff, you will hear that thing.
That's
you're
it.
gonna hear that.
That's it.
But I just put a modern beat underneath it, and the guys wrote to it, and it just became something
Yeah, man.
miraculous. It's
Well
just
done
great.
on that.
Oh,
Really,
thank you so
really-
much.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
Thank you,
that's
thank you.
that's an excellent. That was just brilliant. I thought that was brilliant. Really brilliant.
Thanks.
Tell me about. We're gonna move on now to you. You're big. I mean, I know you're a musician. You're a bassist.
Yeah,
Yeah. You play any other instruments?
I did keyboards, I did drums, I did
Mhm.
saxophones,
Mhm.
whatever I get my hands on at the time. But I
Yeah.
just stuck with the bass.
Yeah.
Imagine a small guy like me.
I know,
you know?
right? Yeah, I know.
But-
Because I still.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw one or two photos.
Yeah,
with
that's
you,
why I
and
bought a smaller bass. Yeah.
But tell me about being part of the HD family and that man in the photo right there standing at the microphone. What's it like working with him?
It's like, I always say it's like a boot camp for soca.
Yeah.
You learn so much. I mean, you learn so much. And then he's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter what people might say, he is very, very intelligent. He
Mhm.
knows what he's about. He knows what he wants. He knows how to get it. And once he wants it, he goes out and get it.
Goes out for it, yeah.
You know, and he encourages everybody around him to always do better and
Yeah.
encourage you to build yourself.
Yeah.
So within the whole band, each member of the band is a producer.
Mhm.
You know, the guys in Barbados, Connor Roberts, producer, writer. So each person is like a company on their own, and which is what he encouraged all of us to do.
Right.
Each one of us is your own company. So
Yeah.
you just build that. When we come together, yeah, that's what we do. But
Mhm.
you got your thing.
You got your thing going on as
you got
well.
your thing
And
going
that's
on.
excellent.
Yeah, you know, it's great.
That's
So,
excellent.
yeah, you learn a lot. You know, you get to travel the world. You get to see and experience all kind of different things.
Yeah.
So which is great for me because I'm able to use that experience here. You know,
Mhm.
and bring it here with my artists and
Right.
explain certain aspects. And I always tell them, I say, listen, I don't like to talk. But
Yeah.
when I talk, it's because I know what I'm saying.
Right.
If I tell you something, it's because I know what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because I always use the experiences I've gained over the years and try to share it with these guys, you know, all my artists, musicians, because,
Mhm.
you know, anybody could talk to me right now. I mean, I have producers contacting me, they want advice on this, writers. I don't mind,
Yeah.
you know. It's great that now I'm here, so people get to really see me and
Mhm.
know who
Oh,
Roots
yeah.
is, you know, because
Oh, yeah.
before I was like the man behind the curtain,
Oh,
like the
yes.
wizard, you know. You just hear him, but you don't see him, you don't know.
Right.
So I'm glad I was here, you know, people get to see me, I get to meet with a lot of the people that I've worked with. Actually, this is the first time me and Turkey has worked like in close proximity together.
Right.
Normally I'm away,
Yeah.
you know, and
It's
they
just
do their
fire.
thing wherever and just send it to me and wherever,
Yeah,
most of
yeah.
us. So we were able to create a lot of music this year by just being together. And, you know, we got some good products,
Yeah.
you know.
How did you get your break with Marshall Montano?
Well, that was...
How did that happen?
I was actually in a band at that time. You know, I had my own band in New York, the Request Band.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the time that I remember the band had separated because he had gotten that deal with Atlantic.
Right.
So they didn't have the band. And then he was looking to form the band,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to do it over. And I happened to have met one of his ex-members in New York. So I did some, you know, freelance gigs with him and stuff like that. And so it happened, they wanted to do a show with Marshall. He didn't have a band, so he called me. So I did that. That was like November 2002. So I did it. I was like, all right, cool, you know, because that's Marshall.
Yeah, right.
You know, growing up as a guy going in parties, I never used to miss a Marshall party. Marshall and Crossfire and Square One.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you could have swear I was a Trinidad. I was in everything. You know, and funny thing, I kind of saw myself being in the band.
Right.
You know, people don't believe it. I was like, no, I actually saw myself being in that band. And then, so a few months after that, they called me again. He wanted to do a launch.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. They called me. That was like February. And then I did the show. Cool. I ain't thinking nothing. And actually, a good friend of mine, after the show, he called. He said, listen, by Wednesday, you're going to call it to join that band. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And they called me Tuesday night. Then I was like, I left my job. I was doing the regular 9 to 5 thing.
Hey, Marshall calling.
Yeah, I'd gone to Trinidad one time, and that was it. It was just, you know,
Yeah,
I didn't know everything. I was ignorant to a lot of things that
Right,
time, but
right.
I wanted to be so much. I just wanted to do music.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it was depressing just having a job for me.
Yes.
I know that wasn't me.
Yes.
You know, so
I
when he
know
called,
how
I
you
didn't
feel.
care what. I was going
Yeah.
and do this gig, and you know, just started traveling and everything. It
Yeah.
was great. really.
Fantastic. So it's been really a wonderful journey, and the journey has just begun for you, man.
Yeah,
It's
it's
really just
always,
begun
you know,
for
it
you.
never ends. You could never say that, you know, it
Yeah.
never ends. You always got to keep pushing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, always.
What's one of the best advice you ever got, and who gave you that advice?
Best advice? It would be from my same uncle, Ajama.
I thought so.
Yeah,
Not
'cause
surprised.
from a little guy, he put me aside. You know, as a kid growing up in New York, there's a lot of ways you could get caught up in the wrong things.
True.
You know, and he used to always, and he wasn't living there, so, he would come up every now and then. And he used to always say, listen, man, you have the potential to do great things. Just keep your focus, you have to remain humble, and just keep doing what you're doing. I remember he used to be forcing me to play the bass because I want to go and play, but he had me practicing bass. I want to cry, I want to do all kind of thing because all my friends outside playing and I didn't really understand it at the time.
Yeah.
And then doing it just became second nature to me. So he just, you got to realize what you have and just work towards it and just keep developing your talent and developing your craft and everything. So that my main thing, what he ever told me was just to remain humble.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah, very, very. And don't let your environment change you, And I always try to hang on to that and just be cool. If you know me, I'm quiet. People say I'm stush. The first time I joined the band, they call me stush. You're stuck up. Because,
You're just not.
I'm new.
Yeah.
First time going to Trinidad.
Yeah.
I'm new in the band. I'm not from there. So everybody looking like, where you get this Canadian guy? Where you get this man from? So the pressure was really hard
I
because
can imagine,
I have to represent now. I can't go there and do anything for people to say, where you get that fella? At that time, people are really looking for musicians from Grenada and places like that.
Yes.
Because you're in Trinidad with the world of musicians to play soca music. And you bring this little guy from Grenada. So people are looking at it like, especially other musicians, they're like, what you bring here for? How you could go in Grenada and get that? So I had to really put it down.
Absolutely.
You understand? Yeah, and I did it. I did it. I remained cool. Yeah, I did it. So, but me, when I go to shows, I would keep to myself most of the time. I'm just quiet. I'm always a quiet guy. So I keep to myself. So, but people expect, a lot of musicians will just walk in and say, hey, who I is? Up to now, I don't ever do that.
Yeah.
I could talk to you for months and you wouldn't know that I work for Masha Montano.
Right.
Actually, I did that last week with a friend. We talking good, and she said, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a musician. I work with my artists. I'm running around with Terra Kid and them, so that's where she see me.
Right.
So she probably think I'm a manager or some kind of thing. And then it's like, well, I'm working Saturday night, whatever. She's like, okay, cool. And then I was on the stage. And then she saw me after. She was like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me?
That's not the approach.
That's just, I don't go there, people just walk here, I am. And this, I've never. You ask me what I do, I'm a musician, I'm a producer. If you want to get deeper, then you could ask, but I'm not going to just volunteer information like that.
Yeah.
I'm not the type.
Fantastic. Well, I know you have, which page do you work with in terms of Facebook? I know you have two Facebook
Yeah, I have
pages.
two. I have the Sean Mr. Roos Mitchell.
Right.
And then you have the Mr. Roos Production. That's where I display all my music, all my releases and stuff that's going on,
That's the one. So I just wanted to let our viewers know, if you want to hear some more, I know you know them all. Trust me, you know them all. But if you want to be more in tune with Sean's work, of course, just log on to Facebook and type in the keywords Mr. Roos Productions, and you will get access to all the great rhythms, all his work, everything is right there. And yes, he's one of us. He's one of our own. And we're very proud of him as well. Very proud of him. Sean, excellent work. Congratulations with everything and all your accomplishments. And like your uncle would say, stay humble and stay focused. And keep making us proud.
Thank you. I will do.
It's a pleasure. I know you leave the island tomorrow.
Not sure. They haven't found my flight yet. So I'm just dancing in the wind right now.
Hey, listen. When you walk out of here, you're going to get some oil on somewhere. Your cousin would do it.
I had that last night.
There you go. And I know you wouldn't mind an next plate again.
Yeah, I'm not joking around. That's what I'm here for. Eat.
Yeah, man. But it was a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work.
All right, man.
Fantastic.